There are two types of people who have clicked on this video. The first is probably a sad teen cooped up in their dad's apartment at 3 a.m. frantically Googling, "Am I gay?" I love you like family, but you are not the target audience for this particular tirade. No, I'm talking to your father. Not right now, but a couple years out when you sever all ties from him. I'm hoping this can reach him, but I also welcome any queer folk who mosey on in too. This is not a call out. I'm putting down my pitchforks and knives to offer one possible answer to the question: why doesn't my child speak to me anymore? But first, a quick intro. I'm Sunny Dionysus. I'm a trans Gen Zer who has no honest-to-God credentials, except a big heart and a lot of patience. I want to preface this video with the caveat that while I have a steady relationship with my parents who do accept me, I have had countless talks with both sides of going no contact. This video is not a reflection of my own family life. I love you, Dad. Let's start with my interpretations of the basics. This is all going to be from my perspective as a trans person, so I absolutely encourage you to seek out diverse viewpoints on gender. Being trans means that a person identifies with a different gender than the one they were assigned at birth. Breaking this down into chunks, I'll define some terms to explain this. Emily Davies in Life Sciences News breaks it down like this. Sex is biological, what we're assigned at birth. Gender is social, roles, behaviors, and expectations. Identity is internal, how we experience and understand ourselves. When someone's gender doesn't match their assigned sex, they may identify as transgender or trans. And yes, there are intersex people born with sex characteristics outside of the binary. I've linked a video below that explores that further. A lot of trans people experience dysphoria, a distress caused by the disconnect between their body, identity, and how the world sees them. But that distress doesn't come out of nowhere. It's a response to a world that tells us we're wrong. This is for systemic, cultural, interpersonal, and physical reasons. These factors all start at the larger systemic views on gender and influences everything else. The systems that continually restrict and oppress trans people affect the overall culture that trans people are treated in, meaning that our interpersonal and physical relationships are deeply worsened. I'm not going to explain every single type of discrimination trans people face, but I will elaborate on one. Currently, a bill excluding trans healthcare from Medicaid is passing through the House. While this is completely unlawful, there is precedent for it. States like Texas and Florida already withhold life-saving gender-affirming care, leaving low-income trans people, especially trans youth and trans people of color, utterly abandoned. These bills influence the way cis people see trans people, not as human beings, but as political scapegoats. We are seen as pawns that are expendable from both parties. Interpersonally, this can have an attitude shift. We experience more discrimination at our jobs and constant bullying from our peers. This can make many trans people mentally ill, not because of our gender identity, but because of factors that are out of our control. Many of us feel dysphoria because we live in a very strict society that demands us to perform gender correctly. For example, I've started taking testosterone as a man who likes skirts. Which bathroom should I go into? Spoiler alert, it's the one that means I don't get glares at, which means at home. I sympathize with your struggles because all of this is so scary to you as a parent. Most likely, you don't want your child to be in pain and to experience discrimination, even if you don't really get the gender thing. You love your child, and I promise you this is a scarier experience for them. Not only are they navigating a hostile world, they're doing it without the one person they hoped would have their back. And now there's no more texts, no more phone calls, no holidays. Sometimes you don't even know you're hurting your child. You call something feminine gay, or make a joke at the expense of a trans woman. Maybe they broached the subject lightly, mentioning a gay friend at school, only to hear your mockery. These are called microaggressions, comments and actions that may seem small to you, but add up to a vulnerable, struggling child. You might not have even known these comments were harmful, but did you ask them? Maybe you're thinking, I never said they couldn't be trans. But did you make space for their identity? Did you defend them when others didn't? Or did you let the silence speak for you? If you're someone who knows you weren't just dismissive or confused, if you were angry, yelled, hell, even hit your child, this part is for you. Firstly, your child may never speak to you again, and you have to be okay with that truth. Even if you don't understand being transgender, you probably know you've made severe mistakes. Stop asking, how do I fix it? Start asking, how do I stop harming others? If you have hurt your child to this extent, there are probably other people you're hurting. They may have felt like their job was to fix you, when in reality, you can only fix yourself. Take agency in this process and consider therapy. Violence and toxic parenting frequently stem from a parent's internal issues that lash outward. Money can be a barrier, and I suggest some local men's groups or parenting groups for trans kids. My dad went to one a couple times, and they seemed productive for struggling parents. Even online, you can connect with people that share similar struggles without bottling it up. You should acknowledge the hurt. Think to yourself the last time you actually apologized about something serious to your child, and improve on that. Finally, you may never see your child again, but you still need to do the work. Become the caring, stable person you weren't for their childhood. There's a growing wave of queer kids cutting off their families, not because we're hypersensitive or brainwashed, but because we're learning that survival sometimes requires distance. You might be thinking, this does not apply to me. But if your child isn't talking to you, something broke. Maybe this video is not a mirror. Maybe it's a flashlight. Going no contact doesn't mean your child stopped loving you. It usually means they tried and tried and tried again until loving you started to hurt more than losing you. If you've hurt them beyond contact, it's your job to start listening and growing. Sick.